Narcissistic defense mechanisms. Oh no. Coming up in a narcissistic system, if you will. And that could be any, and usually involves many. Starting with family of origin, likely a community surrounding that. Whatever institutions there may be. Pretty phenomenal how these things kind of play out like that. Behind the veil of awareness, unconsciously. I suppose I can get into a spiel about what an innocuous term the term unconscious is for essentially, just the quantum supercomputer that we all have. Oh, what, that? The quantum supercomputer? Phenomenal quantum supercomputer. Well, what? That's just the unconscious. Crying out loud. Yeah. Coming up. In and or out of narcissistic systems, family dynamics, and by extension, community, institutions, and all this. You'd be hard-pressed to find someone who hasn't developed at least some narcissistic defense mechanisms. As difficult as it may be to accept, it certainly has been for me, on many levels, On others, this is fucking is what it is. But on some, it's been hard to accept that that's just some things we need from each other because, we're like this tri or quadripartite being. You got the limbic system, the reptile brain, and then you've got the mammalian thing, and that's the mammal brain, and then the neocortex, and that's the more human stuff. And I'd say we've got a bit more than that too, but sticking with the psychobiology kind of POV. But with that mammal part, there's just certain things that we need from each other in order to grow, and evolve, and adapt. It's a social being thing. You could say I've had a number of narcissistic values myself. Been a bit of a reptilian in some respects, And that would be one of them. The compassion, needing compassion and love from other people, because that's one of those things that we just need. So much so that, I've been so kind of unconsciously averse to that in a number of ways when it's been authentic. As just like this defense mechanism comes up like, get back. Yeah. And it's not like it's for no reason. This is an explanation, by the way, not an excuse. And the reason has been, many expressions that I'd received have been weaponized versions, if you will, of love. And I don't want to get into that. So you develop these defense mechanisms. And it's like folding over on oneself. or apart. It becomes kind of necrotic, aberrant. The zombie is symbolic of the unrealized life, the non-self-actualized life. And what better way to remain non-self-actualized but than to deny adequate nutrition to that part of oneself? It's like, it's one of those things where, you don't want to or you don't want to twist or conflate, the term choosing. Well, it's not really choosing if you don't know what's happening. I don't think many people would understand all this stuff intimately. They're like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and choose to go necrotic. That's what I'm into. I want to resemble some kind of malignant creature on an unconscious level in this part of myself in my life. This is what I'm going for. This is it. This is the way. And and then all these kind of aberrant systems adapt around it and interlock with other aberrant systems. So we can become have any number of these narcissistic defense mechanisms, and they can really stack. I'd say there's a bit different modus operandi, kind of, but not really. I mean, in that kind of context, what would a narcissist be? But someone that's happened to so many times, folded over on themselves so many times, in so many ways. Extreme abuse and reactions to it. Although, that's not a guarantee to make a narcissist, but nevertheless, it's a pretty sure way to get a lot of necrotic systems going. And it's going to take a fair amount of work to resurrect the dead from within. The light of awareness. Sunlight being the best disinfectant. So it's good to know about and get into it. I've had a hard time letting that kind of sunlight in, the aforementioned. And again, it's not like it's been unwarranted. And it's not like, half the time, this is not sunlight in the package that it's been coming in. It's like, oh, but don't you know how much we love you? Oh, yeah? What's with all the knives behind your backs? You want to put those down, friend? What's going on here? Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. No, of course not. You don't know what I'm talking about. Of course not. Of course not. So, I couldn't help but notice there's some nets as well, and some jabby things that look like, things that you would jab some creature with that you're trying to capture or something. What are you doing? What's going on here? Not into it. That's not love. That's you all being a bunch of fucking lunatics. Not looking at your own shit and projecting it upon the path of least resistance. Not into it. Nor am I into saving people from themselves anymore. Not in that way. Because that ain't saving anybody. What's it saving them from? Having a fucking existential crisis just by accepting a degree of interpersonal accountability. That's a problem. That's a big problem. And it's one I've been acquiescing to for a long time. It's like I can just feel on some level how panicked they are with the idea of accepting, who they are and what they've done to themselves on some level. And what they've done to someone else. Or a number of someone else's. by going necrotic in any number of ways. That'd be the scapegoat thing. My oh my, what a thing. But yeah, I'm not into it. And no matter what you pour into anybody like that, it just doesn't seem to compute. You gotta disentangle those unconscious agreements. What part of oneself is consenting? On what level? In that dynamic. It's more like being conned into a consent. Let's get real, but nevertheless. Projective identification, the con job. I jotted something down today. I'll share that, and then that'll probably be it for this one. There's a reason for the whole feelings are important thing. Because they're like radar, sonar, once more fully developed, but the problem is they're often not even mostly developed. And that causes a lot of problems. It's like smushing a complex artificial intelligence that's made to be outside into a dark room without anyone looking. That's some pretty next level equipment to be neglecting, especially like that. Want to get, quote, smarter, healthier, creative, more creative, spiritual, or more spiritual, even. Okay, there's the portal, right there. The real one. Real isn't easy, but neither is pretending. Yeah. And with that, thanks for tuning in. And until next time.